Greetings everybody, I am Lobo and welcome to episode 44 of my Minecraft survival series. Hello Sawyer, it's a beautiful day, isn't it? It's a beautiful day, it's a lovely day here in Luna. Let's go ahead and say good morning to these guys. Good morning these guys. Hi, they're hanging out in windowsills. That's what everybody seems to want to do here. Everybody wants to hang out in the windows. Like we got Sawyer hanging out in the windows, we got these guys right here that are hanging out in windows as well. Everybody loves hanging out in windows, it's awesome. Eventually we might want to get you guys, wandering the streets here though, because, we have a whole city. We're going to have a whole city. You've almost got the right idea. Almost. You're just barely missing the concept. Anyway, let's go ahead and check on these guys right here. How are you guys doing? You guys doing good? You're supposed to be watching out for our villagers. You're our police force here in Luna. You're supposed to be looking out for the villagers, not over here sipping coffee and eating donuts, if that's what you're indeed doing. Now, let's go ahead and work our way over here where we kind of did some work last episode. We got this area pretty much laid out. I mean, as far as the area on the other side of the city, that's not so much done yet, but, we're going to continue working over here, I think. And what I think we need to do first is go ahead and get this pathway in here. Yeah, I think that's a good place to start off with. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, let's begin with the stairs that are going to be leading up here. I was thinking that instead of going straight up into it, we could kind of curve this pathway around, curve the stairs around a little bit. So let me kind of give you a better idea of what I'm talking about here. What I was thinking we could do is let me go ahead and just kind of start curving this staircase. So that way, you guys can see it actually curve around and where it's going to ultimately lead to and why we're going to lead it that way. So basically, we're just going to start curving the staircase off to the left here, so that when you come up, you start turning this way, and that's going to take you up here. Let me actually get up here. So that's going to take you up here, and then basically we can make the pathway kind of circle around the perimeter of this area, so we can collect what we need to collect before continuing along the path. So I'm going to go ahead and try to get this kind of shaped out a little bit. We're not going to finish it up, we're just going to get it kind of drawn out. So to me, what seems to make the most sense is not going straight out and detailing the walls and the grounds here. What I want to do first, like we're eventually going to do that. We're eventually going to make the walls look more like this right here. Just add more detail to them. But what makes the most sense right now is to actually get everything in place, get the lighting in place, figure out where everything's going to be. Because we want to eliminate the torch spam. Like if you look at the areas we've already done, there is no torch spam. We eliminate all torches. So I think that's a smart thing to do. First is just figure out like how we're going to place everything, and then we'll work our pathway along here, figure out how we're going to light this thing. So yeah, let me just go ahead and finish drawing out this pathway, and I will be back with you guys in just a minute. Okay, so I have roughly traced out the path throughout this area. Not all of it, actually. As you can see, like this part, I don't know what we're going to do over here yet, but I've roughly traced out the paths. We have not got the lighting in yet because, well, I just don't know where it needs to be quite yet. So I was thinking what we could do before we go ahead and start randomly placing jack-o'-lanterns, which we might actually cover up. What we can do is we can kind of figure out where some of the features of this area are going to be going. So I was thinking, since this is going to be a garden center, what we could probably do is add a couple flower beds right here in this area, in this little open area. And then, yeah, we can kind of figure out where the lighting and stuff is going to go in relation to the features of this place, And now that it's nighttime, we can kind of get a much better idea of where we actually need to put lights. So what we could do is start kind of picking out spots. So maybe right here, maybe right here. And then if we continue that, we'll do the same thing right here and right here. And we'll see if that provides enough light to actually cover up our flower beds. So let me go ahead and pillar up some dirt, and we'll put some jack-o'-lanterns on top of that. And that should be the last one. And looking at this, I don't know if that's going to be sufficient to stop mob spawning. Because that's the main concern with this area, right? With all of this, all the areas of our city, we don't want to be able to spawn mobs because we're going to have villagers roaming around here. And if zombies end up spawning in the city, that starts a whole zombie apocalypse, which kind of depopulates this entire place. So we need to make sure everything is fairly well lit. And yes, I am aware that I sometimes go a little overboard with lighting, but my philosophy is it's better to do too much than not enough. Because, we got to think about our villagers here. We got to think about our population. The last thing these guys want is to go for a nice moonlit stroll through our garden center and get attacked by a zombie. I mean, would you want to get attacked by a zombie walking through the garden center at night? No, absolutely not. So let me go ahead and kind of pretty this place up a little bit. We'll see what try to get a better idea of what it's going to look like, So let's enclose all this dirt in trapdoors just to try to make it look a little less dirty, a little bit more presentable. We did the same thing over here. We also added leaves over our jack-o'-lantern so we can walk on this area. This is not what this is ultimately going to look like, but I just want to kind of get an idea of everything in place right now. We'll worry about that area over there later. What I want to do is kind of focus on what we're going to be doing over here. So I was thinking maybe on top of this, on top of our actual like bone meal dispensing double flower farm type area, what we can go ahead and do is start building in some kind of structure to kind of house this thing. And I'm not sure exactly what it's going to look like overall, but we can kind of start feeling it out a little bit. I think maybe if we go for like an arched roof over that could look kind of nice. I'm not sure how far back it's going to go yet, but let's go ahead and kind of get a general shape for the front end, and then we'll start worrying about the other stuff once we have that in place. And we'll probably want to bring this back right here so we can join with the center logs, which are recessed just a little bit. They're set one block back. So we can join with those. We can kind of bring this up then a little bit to maintain our arch shape. Right now, this is not what this thing is going to look like once, this is kind of just sketching it out. Like right now, we're just sketching it out because we do that before we actually draw, because we can't get a good idea of what this is ultimately going to look like from the position we're at now when we're building. We have to actually step away like we're doing right now, and then we have to look at it and then decide what we want to change on it. So I'm thinking we could probably stand to bring out these sides a little bit more and have them kind of go into the middle a little bit. Maybe what we want to do is actually like put some logs sticking out like right here. Let me go ahead and just do it. Let me just do it. So let's go ahead and kind of build this out a little bit more. We'll try to flesh it out a little bit more. We'll see if this is something we can ultimately roll with, or if we want to come back and we want to change some more stuff. Let's go ahead and get these last couple in. Why not? Let's go ahead and get the last two logs in place, and we'll step back and we'll see if this is something we want to build on or something we want to kind of continue to work on. And I can tell you right now, I feel like it's looking a little bleh. It is definitely looking a little bleh. All right, so I made a couple of little minor tweaks. I think we have a shape that we can kind of work with. It's not too much change from the last time you saw it, but I'm feeling a little bit better about it. Now, what I'm thinking we could do for the back right here is kind of make it go downward in kind of a nice, soft, rounded shape. So we can do something like that. I think that could possibly work, and we'll do the same thing to this side. Right now, like we're just trying to get the general shape in, and we'll kind of build on it from there. We'll make tweaks and stuff as needed, just like we've been doing. So if we round off the bottom like this, that could give us a pretty interesting shape for this structure. I mean, it's something to work with at least. I think, this could work. I don't know what it's going to look like. Your guess is as good as mine. But, we can kind of continue to build on this, and hopefully we'll be pleasantly surprised. I don't know how likely that is. We could bring the flowers back here too. Like we could fill this whole thing in with like dirt and then put flowers on top of it. I think that's what I'm going to do real quick. That's what I'm going to do. Just get a better idea. So I think something like that could work for that area. But I am going to leave it alone for right now because we're not working in the details yet. Right now, we're just getting an outline in, a rough outline of what we want where in this particular section of the city. So I was thinking back here, what we could possibly do is have some little mini trees for sale. So I'm using the jungle wood because we haven't used that anywhere else for building really. So I'm going to go ahead and just put this in here for now. These will probably end up coming down or getting rearranged or something at some point, but I kind of just want to get a rough idea of what is going to be going where in our garden center. So now that we have those over there, we have that little section right there done. We can kind of start giving some consideration to what we want to do with other sections of this place, like the cocoa bean farm. We need to find a way to hide all that redstone. That's going to require a little bit of thought. So maybe what I'll go ahead and do is kind of work on the lighting a little bit. So we've got the land peppered in jack-o'-lanterns. Some of it is recessed like this. Some of it is on the surface because we have the roof of the House of Leaves kind of impeding our ability to place these jack-o'-lanterns any lower. So instead of carving into the roof, I think we're just going to leave those like that. We'll use carpet over top of them to kind of hide them instead of leaves, which, won't be so bad looking. We actually might cover some of these leaves up with carpet as well. And over here, this other little lighting technique we used was putting jack-o'-lanterns under the pistons right here, because pistons are transparent blocks, so the light will show through them. Now, whether or not this is effective, that kind of depends on what we put in front of the pistons to hide all that redstone, so that might have all been for nothing, but you know, we'll see. At this point, I am thinking stairs, lining this whole bottom section with stairs might actually be our best option for hiding these pistons. So let me go ahead and run this the whole way around. We'll see what this ultimately looks like. And we'll kind of work on it from there. Like, we're going to have to change up the lighting a little bit because I think this is going to block a significant amount of light coming through. But then again, we do have path blocks in front of it, which are non-spawnable. Yeah, something like that could possibly work. I'm going to play around with this a little bit more though. So as I was getting those stairs in, like, I kept going with them and I actually brought them the whole way around. So right now I'm just kind of mirroring what we did over here. We got rid of the mini jungle, whatever trees that were here. And we decided to do this. And I think this is gonna be much more aesthetically pleasing. If we come back here, you can see that now it's like that whole thing is one structure, which I think looks a little bit better. Yeah, I think we can roll with that actually. I mean, even though we don't have a need for more cocoa beans, you know, the ones on the left are purely decorational. I think that could work. Now, as far as how we want to back this thing, I think we need to decide, do we want to use fence posts or leaves? Because I put a little bit of both in there. So we have the fence posts on the left, the leaves on the right. And the leaves do provide a nice contrast, I think, but the fence posts look a little bit cleaner. So I'm kind of leaning towards those. Maybe we can use a little bit of both, put a little bit of leaves behind the fence post just to kind of liven it up a little bit. I mean, that's an idea. But I am getting more into the detail side of things right now because we do have a pretty good idea of what some of this area is ultimately going to look like. So how about this? How about, since we're working in details now, let's go ahead and get a little bit of music playing and let's get a little bit of building done. Welcome back, everybody. I hope you enjoyed that. It was kind of a little bit of a shorter time lapse. Did you guys just hear which I definitely just heard a witch. Which is bad because that means we A, have a spawnable block somewhere, or B, we did have a thunderstorm. Oh no, Mr. Hanzo? Mr. Hanzo, please tell me that this house did not get struck by lightning. Oh, it sounds like it. Oh no. It sounds like it's coming from inside, doesn't it? Oh man. This is not how I wanted to come back. Oh, Mr. Hanzo, he was my favorite. Mr. Hanzo is my favorite. Please don't tell me. Oh man, what's going on up there? Do you know what's happening? What's happening? Oh. Oh no. Mr. Hanzo. No. You're not going to want to see this. Oh man. Mr. Hanzo, are you in there? Can you hear me? Ow. Okay. Don't make me do this. Oh no. Why? Why, Mr. Hanzo? I am just so distraught right now, guys. Like, I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it. I had to put down Mr. Hanzo. I'm just devastated. He was my favorite out of all of these villagers. I mean, and I have to take him out? No, it wasn't me. It was the thunderstorm. The thunderstorm, those things are a huge problem in this area. Like, we have thunderstorms all the time. We get like skeleton horses and their riders spawning. Thunderstorms are a huge problem. I mean, they turned Mr. Hanzo into a witch. A witch of all things. Why? Why would they do that? And to think, we were just about to give him the keys to the enchanted pickaxe. He was inheriting this place. He was going to live out the rest of his days doing what he loved, in the place he loved. Now what are we going to do? I mean, I guess we could always consider giving this to Chad. I mean, he's been a loyal employee. But no, look at that guy. He can't handle this. It is a new day. I'm still in mourning over Mr. Hanzo, I'm not gonna lie. Let's go ahead and check out the view. We'll the view is getting much better every time we come over here. Like, this is awesome, just seeing the change happen so quickly. I think that's pretty cool. So let's go ahead and walk through here, since we didn't get a chance to do that because of the unfortunate tragedy that occurred here earlier. So we'll kind of walk up this way, and we'll check out from this side. So right here we have our tree farm area. Basically what this area is like the loading area for our tree farm. This is like where they take the logs down. This is where they store them in this little warehouse storage building right here. This is the entrance to the garden center. So we have this little leaf archway that you'll pass through to enter the garden center, and it should be pretty obvious that it's a garden center. We have flowers just everywhere. We have our beacon fountain right here, some little seating on the side, you know, in case we get tired of walking, we just want to enjoy the view, you know. So you know who would have loved this? Mr. Hanzo. Mr. Hanzo would have loved to walk through here. I'm so sad he never got to see it. We do have access to all our farms as we walk along this pathway, and we have some mini spruce trees here for sale. Yes, they are for sale, so let all the villagers know. Hey guys, we've got mini spruce trees for sale. If you need some for your houses, you want to decorate your houses with some flora, we got some right here. Once we actually get your houses built, that is. If we walk over this way, like this right here, like, you know, we've got this done. It honestly seems a little bit busy to me. So we may do something about that. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna take some stuff into consideration. I want to kind of redo this a little bit, but I think overall though, it looks pretty nice up here. Like, I'm pretty happy with the main part of this, you know? So while I'm considering how we're gonna change things up over there, we got some signs to put up. The first sign being here at the House of Leaves, which we completed last episode. That was August 2018. The next sign we need to put up, since this area will be finished in today's episode, we'll go ahead and put the sign up now. This is the Luna Garden Center, our first build of September 2018. Pretty cool, pretty cool. All right. Oh, look at this little guy. Hey, how you doing? You're so cute, you're so tiny. Hello. Do you like bread? I bet you like bread. You want some bread? Here, have some bread. Do you guys eat bread? Yeah, you eat bread. I should have totally thought about what what vegetables he was going to plant over at the farming district before I gave him bread. That's okay. That's okay. You know, in honor of Mr. Hanzo, new life has sprung forth. Okay, back to work. In the interest of making this look less busy, I think the main thing that's going to help here is if we get rid of a lot of these fence posts, because right now it's just like a spider web of wood, you know? So I'm thinking we can go ahead and carve some of these out right here. We can get rid of that whole section right there, and let's see if that helps. And I have another idea in case that doesn't help enough. Yeah, I think we can go a little bit further with it. So how about if we get rid of these right here and we replace these with trap doors to kind of just make that the entire roof right there? I think that could potentially work. That has some potential. I'm gonna go ahead and follow through with it. Okay, so hopefully this cleans things up a little bit. You know, it still might look a little busy, but it looks much, much cleaner, which I like. I think we're gonna go ahead and roll with this for right now. We may make some changes in the future, I don't know. I'm gonna leave it at that for right now. Another thing I wanna take care of is, like, as we walk through here, it's so cramped. So I think what we're gonna do is go ahead and start getting rid of some of these mini spruce trees, because we have some, we don't need as many as we have. I think we can do some stuff here to add some variety too. So in the interest of making it a little bit less cramped as we walk through here and adding some variety, I was thinking we could possibly add some seating in here, you know? A couple little park benches for our villagers to sit on as they're strolling through here. And I think that could, yeah, it definitely makes it look more open. It feels more open now. And we could definitely use some more throughout here. We could, because it's so cramped as we walk through here. Did you notice that? So yeah, let me go ahead and do a few more of these. So we'll get rid of you. And as I walk through here, I just want to try to make this area feel a little bit more open. You can go as well. You guys can probably stay. You can go. Just, you know, anything that makes this area feel too cramped, we'll probably want to get rid of. We'll get rid of you. And I don't know, maybe we don't need another flower right there. We do need a variation in the ground texture though, so we'll use a green carpet for that. And put this last one right here maybe. Yeah, so let's go ahead and take a quick stroll through this area and see how it feels now. Right now, already, it feels so much more open, so much less cramped. It's much more enjoyable to walk through here. Let me get that, and I think this is pretty good. I'm feeling pretty good about this. So let's go ahead and hop on top of the House of Leaves. We'll get a bird's eye view of this place. And you know what? I do kind of like it. I do kind of like it. I'm feeling pretty good about this. I'm also feeling like that is all the time that I have for today. So if you guys have enjoyed this, please feel free to hit that little thumbs up button. That would mean very much to me. And if you want to see more, please remember to subscribe. As always though, I just want to thank you guys for hanging out with me today. I deeply appreciate it. And until next time, I am Lobo, and I will see you guys later.